Okay.
You got all gussied
I'm
up
ready.
for cowboy church.
I'm not gussied up. I got a work shirt on. I got my muck
Hey, you
boots
got
on.
ruffles. You got gussied up for cowboy
Well,
church.
it's an old shirt. It's cowboy church?
Cowboy
Is that what
church.
we're calling it? Cowboy church?
That's what you do when you read a Bible in the barn. It's
Okay,
cowboy
all
church.
right. And okay, cowboy church it is. And what better place to learn? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Cowboy Church, where we're learning about following in his dust. And now Miss Heather knows who's the him we're talking about?
Jesus, not Digger.
Jesus, not Digger the horse. We're going to learn about what it's like to be a follower of Jesus and to follow him and be covered in his dust. Okay? All right. So we learned already that the first thing you have to do is say, yes, I believe in Jesus. I want to follow Jesus. I want to be forgiven. I want to be part of this. So that we did that already. Okay. So today's lesson might take a little bit longer because I want to talk to you about dust means getting dirty. And so what that means is when you get covered
Glad
with...
you wore my boots.
You should have worn... Well, you have boots on.
Oh, yeah.
Not muck boots, but you have cowboy boots on,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that works. So what that means is to follow Jesus means that when you're covered in his dust, when you're dirty with his dust, you have to do the things that Jesus taught you to do, and you have to try really hard to act the way Jesus teaches us to act, to show love to people, even our enemies, all that stuff. Because when you're covered in Jesus' dust, you show love, you're kind, you do the right things, but there's something that happens to people sometimes. They get covered in what's called the dust of the world.
Yeah. You better not step too much further over that way.
Oh.
You're going to be covered in goat sick dust.
Goat sick dust?
That's what the baking soda's for.
Oh, okay.
Goat over there is sick.
No, the goat. We have a sick goat.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just better not step over there too
Oh,
close.
okay.
That's
Lots of strange things happen in the barn.
You know?
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll go as quick as I can so you can help the sick goat.
Okay.
Because that's what a follower of Jesus would do, would show love to that sick goat. So I get it.
We don't be covered in goat sick dust.
So can I tell you a story from the Bible? Because it's a story about...
Stories calm the goats.
Stories calm the goats. Excellent. Then the goats will enjoy this story. So this story is from the book of Daniel, which is still in the New Testament. And it is
Daniel's in the New Testament?
Daniel's not in the... No. Daniel's in the Old Testament.
Daniel's in the
I'm sorry.
Old Testament.
I'm sorry. I was confused.
Daniel's an old dude.
I forgot that Daniel was in the Old
I
Testament.
go to cowboy church
Oh my
every now and
goodness.
then.
I got so confused. So Daniel, thank you for correcting me. Daniel is in the Old Testament, and it is a story about 3 guys who chose not to be covered in the dust of the world. But wait a minute. There's a story there. So there was this king. His name was King Nebuchadnezzar. And King Nebuchadnezzar made a gold statue. And he called everybody and said, he sent a messenger and they called out loudly, "Listen, you people who come from every nation, pay attention. Here's what the king commands you to do. You will basically fall down and worship the gold statue. This is the statue that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. If you don't, you will be thrown into a blazing, fiery furnace right away."
Oh.
And he said, you're going to worship this statue, you're going to worship me, because this statue is for me and you're going to worship it. Well, here's the problem. At that time, there were people who studied and they were and they knew about God, and they were Jews and they believed in God, and the Jews believed in God, and then there were people who didn't believe in God and they worshiped kings, but they knew that it was wrong to worship. They knew from Moses and the 10 Commandments, not New Testament, Old Testament. I'll get my testament straight. And so they said to these 3 Jews, we're going to talk about them because they have crazy names. They have hard names. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Those were their names. And so they said, we're Jewish and we were taught that you only honor God. You only worship God. We won't worship anyone else. We won't do it.
They got a problem.
Well, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they said to King Nebuchadnezzar, we don't need to talk about this anymore. We're not going to worship you or your gold statue. Not going to happen. even if we might get thrown into a fiery furnace, the God we serve will save us from that fiery furnace. We're not going to do it. And Nebuchadnezzar was very angry with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And what do you think happened? The king's command was carried out quickly, and the furnace was so hot that its flames...
Don't listen over there, goats.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
It did not kill. It killed the soldiers who tried to throw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Oh.
But the three of them didn't die. They didn't get thrown. They didn't burn up in the furnace. They survived the fiery furnace because they knew that there was one true God and that if they followed God, he would protect them. And so they didn't get burned up in the fiery furnace.
Oh, good.
So even when, that's the dust of the world. And in our world, sometimes you're going to be tempted to worship, a football team, or worship a rock star, or worship money, or worship your...
So wait a second. What do you mean by worship?
It means you put that before God. That's more important. That you say, I want money more than I want to follow Jesus. I am going to focus on making lots of money. I'm going to focus all my time on playing my video games, and I'm not going to spend time, I'm not going to put Jesus first.
Okay, because there ain't no churches for football teams.
No.
There ain't no churches for money.
And football's okay, and video games are okay, but you have to put God first. You have to put God first because, well, when we get to the New Testament, which isn't far off now, a few more little books and we're there, we're going to learn, and Jesus, by following Jesus and being in his dust, you're going to learn how to not give in to the dust of the world. You're going to learn to put Jesus first and to do what Jesus would want, and that when you do that, God is always there for you. God was there for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and saved them from the fiery furnace. They didn't die.
No.
So God will be there for you and will help you and will always, always, always love you.
I think we need to say one of them prayers.
I think we need to say one of those prayers too. Okay. And we breathe in, God, and we breathe out all the yucky dust of the world. Dear God, thank you so much for sending us Jesus, for sending him to teach us about putting you first and honoring you and not worshiping and putting everything else before you, to always put you first. That then you will be there for us, you will love us, you will protect us. Oh, we're just so lucky. Thank you, God, for all you say and do. Amen.
Amen.
All right, I'm ready. I'll come help you with your sick goats.
Thanks.
All right.
She's over here.
Okay.